Hello guys, good morning. Welcome to another episode of Xao Talk Show. Today is 2021, November 23rd, and we don't have a topic yet. So in the first 5 minutes you are here, post a topic, refresh your YouTube, and in the description you can see there are two links, and those two links are, let me show you. So one of them is Xao Talk Show topic notes. The other one is Xao To Do. Okay, so pick a topic in the first 5 minutes, and I'll talk about that today. Okay, otherwise, let me just start to work random on my website. Okay, so you are looking at my Emacs, and I'm using Xaofly keys. And I'm using Vora keyboard, and the pink window you can see all my Emacs command calls and the keystroke, and this is Kinesis Advantage keyboard, and this is Ultimate Hacking keyboard. Okay, you can search for Xali keyboard and find my reviews on them. Okay, so no topics yet, and so I'm just going to start working on my website, kind of random. Okay, so there you have Wolfram language, fantastic. In no other language you can see this. Okay, this is a nested array, and you can specify a level when you map to it. Okay, so let's see, video check, audio check, fantastic. So I want to do, let's do some. Okay, so see, go to talk show, go to notes, JavaScript. So I have this page, history of the JavaScript script tag. JavaScript script tag, this is a history of web technology. So you see, usually you say type equals to text / JavaScript. So this article is written around 2006. So in the past 30 years, there's a lot of changes about using how you use the JavaScript tag, script tag. Back then, in the beginning, you say there is this language equals to JavaScript, because in the late 1990s, there's JavaScript, there's also JScript, and Microsoft, that's from Microsoft, JScript, which is a reverse engineering of JavaScript, the language. JavaScript was invented by Mozilla, the Netscape browser, which became Firefox. And Microsoft created their own version of JavaScript by just looking at what the behavior. So they called it JScript. So big history of JavaScript. So, and Mozilla submitted their JavaScript language to a standard organization called ECMA. Okay, so there are quite a few things I want to do about this. No comments. Okay, comments, guys. So if you go to JavaScript in depth, this is my tutorial about JavaScript, and you can see at the bottom there is the JavaScript reference. So this is ECMAScript specification. So JavaScript is quite fucked up. So let me summarize. In 1996, Mozilla, Netscape, the company was called Netscape. They created, hello Mukui, what's up Alan? So in 1996, Netscape, which became Mozilla Firefox, Netscape created JavaScript, the language. The idea is dynamic website, because before 1996, all website is just static, just like text or images. There's no interaction. You cannot, there's no interaction. So 1996, Netscape created JavaScript. Then Netscape submitted their JavaScript language to this organization, ECMA. Okay, this organization is called ECMA International. So that the idea is that to standardize the language. I mean, they don't really want to. You see, Netscape is a commercial entity. All they really want is to create, to make money for themselves. So they invented JavaScript. But, back then, open source is beginning to go around the idea. So people want it to be a not proprietary language. So if it's proprietary language, then people, don't like it. They don't use it. Then you don't have market. You don't have users. So Netscape, by this pressure, they put their JavaScript, submit their JavaScript language into this ECMA standard organization. This is not too well known, the ECMA, So then ECMA created the standard documentation for JavaScript. So the very first one is here, this one. JavaScript, so this is the very first JavaScript specification. June 1997, standard ECMA 262, okay? So ECMAScript, a general purpose cross-platform programming language. Yeah, right. You remember this is 1997. So Netscape, try to standardize their language to this ECMA organization, and this ECMA organization, they named the language ECMAScript. Okay, that's how things are. So why do they name it ECMAScript and not JavaScript? Well, I guess because JavaScript was trademarked by Netscape. So there is a lot selfish reasons. If Netscape, if they really want to, benefit humanity and all that, they should, just. I mean, why is there all this complex? Why do you have JavaScript, JScript, ECMAScript? It's like all confusing. And JavaScript has nothing to do with Java, the language. But why is it named JavaScript? Well, because again, commercial purposes, selfish reasons. All these motivation, selfish reasons created all this confusion. On the surface, they all tell you, they're gonna help the world, just like Google and Microsoft, that's on the surface. But behind, that's why behind it all, there's all these selfish reasons that created all this complexity and fuck up. So, including Microsoft, Microsoft, you guys hate Microsoft, most of you, and including Unix, Unix with their IRC, complete fuck up. So anyway, so Netscape created JavaScript. They submit the language to this ECMA standard organization to create a standardized language, and out of selfish reasons, by pressure. And so ECMA created this, ECMAScript. They call it ECMAScript. It's just JavaScript. So then Microsoft, around 1998, 1999, Netscape created JavaScript so that you can have interactive web pages. So Microsoft saw that, Microsoft is not a internet company. Microsoft is just focused on selling operating systems. But then the next, we talked about in last video, the history of the web, okay? The modem and all that. So the internet became a thing, 1995, you have cyberspace, you have hyperlinks, it's like new era, like today's metaverse. Okay, so it became a thing. So everyone, so Microsoft is thinking, next, the browsers, we need to do something. So Microsoft created Internet Explorer. Why is my key not working? What's going on? Okay. So let's, so I have a collection of articles about the history of web technology, HTML validation, history, and politics. So this is the reason today's web technology is one extreme fuck up. this is even before today's web frameworks, complexity, all the React and Vue and so on. So Netscape created JavaScript. Then you have the HTML tag to specify the language, interactive website. Then in the beginning, it's like that. Today you just do this script, with no attributes. JavaScript 1. Okay. And yeah, but in the beginning it's like that. Then around 2006, I guess, 2006 they changed it. Around year 2000, the WW3 standard organization, which is another standard organization that's responsible for HTML, for CSS, they say, okay, this is not good. Okay, you shouldn't have, language equals to JavaScript. You should have, type equals to application / JavaScript. Because back then the idea is that, the embedded object, JavaScript is, you can, in a general sense, you can think of it as some kind of embedded object. There are a lot of embedded objects back then. For example, VRML, virtual reality ML, okay, in year 2000, and Adobe, the Adobe Flash, back then it's called Macromedia Flash, okay, Macromedia Flash, which kind of works like JavaScript and SVG, so this is history around year 2000. So back then you have all these kind of embedded things. So the thinking was that, you should generalize, so the tag should be type equals to application / JavaScript. Now this is called a MIME type, but okay, let me show you some history. Okay, MIME type. I wanna go to Wikipedia. Okay, so mining common MIME types. Okay, they don't call it MIME types anymore. You see, now you can see some of the MIME types, but now it's called okay, let's MIME type Wikipedia. So so this is the history of the MIME, which stand for multi-purpose internet mail extensions. Because originally they came from email. Email, like if you want to attach an image, you cannot do that. In 1990s, late 1990s, we have email throughout 1990s, but you cannot attach images. It's just pure text. That's the way Unix philosophy, Unix people, the Unix fuckheads, they like it that way. No images. But people need it. Average people need attached images. But the Unix people, precisely the Unix and C fuckheads, they refuse. Like many of you guys. Okay, like today's new generation about the Linux, tiny Windows system. These type of people, elite kind of hacker guy, they refuse. They think, oh no, communication should not include pictures. You should be able to. You should learn to write communication English. So they don't want images. But eventually, of course, that's incompatible with reality. Image, most people do want images. They want to attach send images to friends in email. So the Unix people, that's why in my video I talk about I despise the Unix people, because remember back then they don't want to let email have images, because they think that's a proper way. Okay, so eventually they failed, of course. So they create we created the technology to attach images to a email, and that technology is called multi-purpose internet mail extensions. Okay, because you have to change the mail protocol in order for it to work. So multi-purpose internet mail extensions, that's MIME, and that then evolved into attaching images or other things into website. So anyway, that became the MIME type. Okay, so let me go back to what I'm talking about. So history of JavaScript script tag in HTML. So around year 2000, you have type equals to application/JavaScript. That's what you're supposed to say when you have a script tag to embed JavaScript. Then, okay, let me regroup. Okay, in the beginning, it's this script language equals to JavaScript. Then the MIME type happened. Then the W3C tells us that the proper way should be type equals to application/JavaScript, because this is more general. So this is the application, and it's specifically JavaScript. So it could be others. For example, let's go to Wikipedia MIME type. There are quite a few others. Do they have a list? They probably have a list somewhere here. So, but you can see several different MIME types. Multi-part / mixed. Okay, content type text / plain, content type application octet string. So you see now it says content type. That's a later thing. Originally it's called MIME type. Okay, so anyway, wait. So do they have a list of MIME types? So this, you are looking at RFC. Now RFC is the standard organization, the publishing standards in the Unix era, in 1980s, in 1990s, just like the incomprehensible ECMAScript. Okay, so I've been going all over the ECMAScript. Let me show you the page again. ECMAScript. Incomprehensible. Okay, that's a Unix RFC. So yeah, we are talking about the history of the JavaScript tag. Okay, so you have type equals to something. Then a few years later, they decided, the standard organizations and all the elite hacker types, they tell us that it should be type equals to text/JavaScript instead of the application, because the thinking changed again. Because they think, okay, JavaScript is just a text file, so it should be text/JavaScript. So that's a little history of the JavaScript tag. So this article is written in 2006. So back then, you can see here, what does other popular sites use? So for example, Amazon uses both type equals to and language equals to JavaScript or something. And they sometimes also use just language equals to. Okay, so Apple.com uses language equals to. This is old school. Okay, language equals to is the very first way. Yahoo uses language equals to. Orkut.com uses type equals to. Now, you may not know what is Orkut. Orkut is the Google's very first social network. So that's around year 2004, Orkut. It became very popular. So popular, and it became so popular in Brazil, Google moved their Orkut headquarters to Brazil. That's another big chapter of history. Orkut lasted for like 10 years, and Google eventually shut it down. They still have a lot of users, but for, I suppose, business reasons, Google says, oh, Orkut is not making money for us, so they shut it down. They shut it down around sometimes 2012 or something. But Orkut.com was very popular. Okay, that's Google's first social network. Then after that, then you have Google Plus. So that's also history, you know, Google Plus from 2010 or something, for 6 or 7 years, also shut down. So Orkut use type equals to. So then MSN.com, which is Microsoft's, uses both. Okay, so this is an eBay, then Google.com. So we have some, you know, history of the JavaScript tag. Okay, that's a little bit talk about this. Now, what I want to do is, you see there's this back button. So you go back to the this index page. You know, this icon used to be extremely popular. You will usually see this icon. Where do they where do you see them? At the homepage of the elite hackers. For example, the Linux users, the Unix you know, fanatics, Linux fanatics, Emacs fanatics, VI fanatics, all these type of people. They will put this badge on their website. Because back then, so this is around year 2000, okay? Basically throughout 2000, people are, you know, these type of people are obsessed about this, because they say your HTML must be valid, you know, and you should be conformant to the W3C standard organization. Like every nerd, every hacker will tell you that. If you don't do that, they you know, they don't like you. They disagree. You know, if you dare to disagree, they ban you. You know, they don't like you. They call you a troll, you know. But today, this idea is kind of gone. In fact, Google and HTML5 people, you know, what the fuck group, you know, that created HTML5, they eliminated, basically they do not push for the idea of HTML correctness, you know. Yeah, and also XML died. Anyway, so that icon used to be everywhere, as you know, among us, like we our type of people. So this page is an index of several articles about web history. Okay, so what I want to do, I want to first of all make this back button. Okay, so make this back button into just Webtech History. Okay, this is too long. HTML validation, history, and politics, too long. I just want to say web history. Okay, so let's start to do work. Okay, nobody's here. Comments, okay? Comments, guys. So first of all, let me put some of the link here, that the things we talked about, mine type, close that, ECMAScript, okay, ECMAScript, JavaScript, ECMAScript, the JavaScript specification, and that make a link, show in browser. So that is what we talked about today. Okay, so actually, so this one, make a link, show in browser. Okay, that's what we talked about today. Okay, now I want to do some work. Okay, so first of all, rename that. Okay, copy that, open it. So you can see the navigation bar is this one. So let's change the name. Okay, let's see what directory is this. Okay, now I'm going to call XAR find replace text. You can see in the pink window. So this is the text I want to replace. Okay, then replace it by, just say Webtech History. Okay, do it all for all pages. Yeah, yeah, do it. level directory level 029, that's fine. Write changes to file. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, so you can see the occurrences and the pages they occur. For example, let's open this one, show in browser. So this is another history page, HTML style, 1999, Hackernews. This is also interesting because when you go to Hackernews, so this one is written in 2013. I believe it's still the case. If you go to hackernews.com, you look at their source code for HTML. Their HTML is written in a style of 1999. So let's check for fun. Okay, let's go see hackernews.com. Let's see whether they have updated, modernized their HTML. So not Windows. Control U to see the source code. Okay, select all, copy, close, shrink, back to Emacs. Open a new page, paste it here into XHTML mod, magnify. Let's go top, magnify. So let's see the HTML. Yep, this is you see, they are still using table tags. Table, the whole thing is a table. Table tags tr. Okay, it's a bit better than the 2013 because they no longer use, back then. If we look at my screenshot here, still the same thing. Yeah, okay. Oh yeah, so you see what's in particular what stand out is you see this font size tag that is very much 1999 HTML font. You use the font tag to change the font size and font color. You see they use the font tag. But let's see if they still use that. Search for font. Okay. They no longer use that. Okay, finally, Hacker News do not use the 1999 HTML style. Why do they use that? Because Paul Graham, he's a old school. When you get old, you tend to not picking up new technology. So Paul Graham, just like me, grew up with HTML. HTML back in the 1990s. He just used the font tag, and yeah, that's funny. So, but now finally they changed. So, comments, the sound of the keyboard is soothing. My Mac is so clacky. Okay. Hello from Programming Topics, Constructed Human Languages, Programming Languages, and Regularity of Syntax. Okay, that topic I can talk for long, but we already kind of, how long have I been talking? I already talked for 30 minutes, so I guess let's continue today with web technology history. Okay, I guess let's continue with web technology history. Then maybe we talk about that. So anyway, the source code of Hacker News, let's look a little bit more. So you see 26 points. Let's see. And I don't want that. Okay, so okay, you see they still use center tag. That's interesting. Center tag is also kind of obsolete tag. Yeah, center tag is 1999. Nobody uses that. I'm not sure even, I think the tag is actually obsolete. Like it's illegal. Let's see what version of HTML they use. HTML, yeah, I mean let's see, go to one of my page doc type that, yeah, they don't, they are not, the Hacker News website is not HTML conformant. So when you know, they are not qualified to put this even HTML 4.0. It's just a syntax soup, tag soup, the Hacker News. You can check, by the way, you know, today, okay, so a lot of people may not know, there's a HTML validator created by, you know, validator by the W3C group validation service. You know, you paste in Hacker News. Let's try to do it. Hackernews.com. Are we sure that's the correct address? Yeah, okay, hackernews.com. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, okay. Check. It's gonna light up like a Christmas tree, you see. Error, start tag sync without seeing a doc type first. Exactly, you see. It needs to be that. You know, this is just a tag soup. There's no, you know, there's no such that. You know, so error, you know, it lights up like a Christmas tree. So, you know, back then, in year 2000s, the hacker types, in particular, just like Hacker News, the people who go to Hacker News, they all wanna, you know, they all like push for, they are all fanatical about HTML correctness. But I guess not Paul Graham, you know. So anyway, so that's Hacker News website. That's Hacker News HTML. Okay, so that topic, you know. Yeah. So like I said, you know, you guys, you know, watch my video. You go early. You know, you come in here early in the first 5 minutes. You say that I'll talk about that because there's a lot to say about that. About the language syntax, regularity of programming language syntax, simplicity and regularity of programming syntax, and related to human language syntax, regularity of human language syntax, such as English, French, Chinese, Japanese, and so on. There's a kind of a sharp contrast, you know, a very interesting topic. Okay. So anyway, so Hacker News, okay. So we just changed the back to Webtech History, correctness and HTML correctness and validators. Okay, some of the pages not changed. Let's do that again. Close that. Open this page. Copy that. Do replacement. Okay. Then you want to say Webtech History. Okay, do it. Okay, all these files changed to the browser. Refresh. Fantastic. Webtech History, Webtech History, Webtech History. Okay, so several articles. Now, there's one more thing I want to do. I want to move all these into a left panel. Can I do that? Let's see. Let's open that. So you can see, yeah. Yeah, you can do that, but more WUFAN, multi-dimensional arrays. What's the topic of the day? You guys, you know, you gotta come early. So when I begin, so okay, so I kind of what do we do now? What do we do next? We already talked for 40 minutes. So we have 20 minutes left. So let's see, what's this page? Close that. What is this page? HTML correctness and validators. close that, programming blog, close that. HTML style, 1999, Hackernews. Yeah, you know, it's interesting that Paul Graham, his website, is still using image map. You know, image map is a technology that, you know, this is, you know, this panel on the left side, that's not text, that's an image map. It's funny. I'm gonna show you what they are. Okay, open image. You see, so you see, this is Paul Graham's, this old hacker's website, and the left panel is using a image tag. So what is a what image map? So what is an image map? So you go to HTML, you go to Xali HTML tutorial, and here this you know, this old school teach you what is image map. You probably you won't find a tutorial about that anymore. I don't think so, not much. So image map is that you see this image. Now if I move the cursor, watch my cursor, into the big eye. Oh, I need JavaScript on, or is it wait. Here example, sometimes you want a image to have sensitive areas that will have different behavior. This is done with HTML image map. Okay, so move your mouse over the big eye, then a alert box will pop up. No, it's not popping up. Shit. Okay, I screwed up my website. Or is it because image maps are not supported anymore? What's going on? So go to my site, go to this URL. There it is. Okay, it's not working in Vivaldi because image maps. Okay, so this is a new thing. Image map does not work when you have a local file. I suppose that's what happens. But anyway, image map, you see, I move my mouse over to the eye and something will happen. You know, so that's what image map, you know. So you can see this is an image. And how do you do it? You know, you specify wait. Okay, so this is how you do an image map. You use this map tag. Okay, now let's see the map tag. Is it still supported? I think it is. It's not obsolete. So how do I know? You go here, HTML tag complete list, then search for map. Yeah, image map is still supported because it's used a lot in, you know, in 1990s and early 2000s. So tens of thousands or 100,000 websites still use that. So you cannot make it obsolete. So Paul Graham is using image map. So you see, you move your mouse to different area. You know, let's look at the. You can see control U to see his source code and search for map. Okay, there it is. You see this line, map name something something. It's a long line. So let's copy the whole source code, shrink the window, and go to Emacs, open a new buffer, paste it. So here you can see his image map. Let's magnify. So you see this part. Okay, so wait. This part. Okay, so let's make it like that. Okay, so magnify. So this image map. So we can we can clean it a little bit so to see. Yeah, so you see those area. Let's replace area by a line area. So do that. So now you can, it's easy to see this section, image map. So this is very tedious, you know, for each, you have to find the coordinate in the image, you know, the pixel, the position. Then you say, so on that position, if the mouse is on that position, then it's a link to this article. If the mouse is in this position, it's a link to Amazon. That's Paul Graham's ancient website. Did I just close it? Yeah. Okay, so Paul Graham's website. Let's open it. There. So what's new with Paul Graham? What's his latest article? Good taste, beyond smart, weird languages. Okay, weird languages. That's what we are interested. Paul Graham, MMXI, the Roman numerals, very old school. You know, today's, you know, the millennial don't know what that is. Roman numerals 2021 PG. Okay. Let's see, weird languages. Click on that. August 2021. Okay, he's still going. He's still writing essays. So this is very short. Weird languages. Let's read a little bit. When people say that their experience when people say that in their experience all programming languages are basically equivalent, they are making a statement not about languages, but about the kind of programming they've done. Okay, that's his claim. 99.5% of programming consists of gluing together calls to library functions. All popular languages are equally good at this. So one can easily spend one's whole career operating in the intersection of popular programming languages. Okay, that's his claim. Then he says, but the other 0.5% of programming is disproportionately interesting. If you want to learn what it consists of, the weirdness of the weird languages is a good clue to follow. Okay, weird languages aren't weird by accident. Not the good ones, at least. The weirdness of the good ones usually implies the existence of some form of programming that's not just the usual gluing together of library calls. Whatever. I don't think this is a great opinion. I think it's true, okay? It's true, but it's not, Paul Graham, it's not a significant opinion. Okay, so what he's saying, you know, weird language, yeah, of course. I mean, this is kind of like a pop, what do you say? Pop scholarship. You know, it's not even scholarship. It's a pop analysis. Okay, that's, you know, that's, if you are beyond kindergarten, then everyone knows this. So he's saying that, you know, the typical languages, C++, Perl, Java, JavaScript, you know, Golang, they are all kind of similar. But then he says that, but there are some languages, usually you'll find them weird, okay, such as Lisp. Maybe he probably has Lisp in his mind. You know, Lisp, Wolfram language, brainfuck, for example, and then lots of, you know, APL, Prolog, you know, that's what he's talking about. I'm pretty sure because, you know, he's, you know, we are in the same generation. So he's saying that these weird languages happened, usually they are weird, usually because of design, and they they are interesting because they solve some problems you've never seen before. Basically, that's what he's saying. And here comes. Let me read this, okay? Okay, weird languages aren't weird by accident, blah, 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 okay? Then he says, a concrete example, Lisp macros. Lisp macros seem weird even to many Lisp programmers. So this guy, so in my opinion, he's getting old. He's getting old. He's, and his essay is out of force. There's no, out of force. So he's saying this macros, today's programmers, you guys millennials, most of them are familiar with macros, okay, not necessarily Lisp, but they know about macros, okay. But to him, he's still living in his younger days, in 1990s or 2000s, that regards Lisp macro as some sort of weird and fantastic. That's silly. And then he says, so if you want to expand your concept of what programming can be, one way to do it is by learning weird languages. Yeah, idiotic. This thought was popular in 1990s, but after 2 years, he's still basically writing the same thing, and this very short. Well, Paul Graham. That's what happened when you get old, like me. And I suppose nobody, not many people read Paul Graham's website much anymore. I mean, most people don't even know who he is. Most young people, that's what happens to the generation. So if you want to check, you can go to what's the website to top 100 website? This one of the Amazon's website. Alexa, okay, Alexa. So you go to Alexa, turn on JavaScript. So Alexa is part of Amazon since 10 plus years ago, 15 years ago or so. They rank the popularity of websites. You may not know it, but it was a lot nerds know back then. So for example, right now the top one is Google, YouTube, Tmall is China, Facebook, QQ China, Baidu China, Sohu China, Taobao China, 360.cn China, JD.com China, Amazon. The top 10 sites, half of them is all China. It's amazing because this been happened. I've been observing this since 10 years ago because I have articles on that. And all of a sudden, like all of them are become China. It's amazing. China is doing. So okay, so we want to see then like top 100 websites, it's like half of them all China. So 11th Amazon, 12th Yahoo, 13th Wikipedia. Wikipedia fell. Wikipedia used to be the top 5. Beginning about 2 years ago, Google started to remove, like used to be 2 years ago, almost everything you search on Google.com, Wikipedia will be one of the top results. But 2 years ago, since about 2000, they started to change that. And I've noticed that happening across the web, Wikipedia, because Wikipedia, there's part of the reason is because there's so much propaganda, anyway, so 14th Weibo China, 15th Sina China, 16th Xinhua.net China, 17th Zoom, okay, 18th Live.com, that's Microsoft, 19th Netflix, 20th Reddit, okay. So you want to type Paul Graham here. So can I still type what? By country, by category, okay. My website is probably I'm pretty sure it's more popular than Paul Graham's, but not Hackernews. So where do I? Okay, click on Google. Okay. Yeah, so here you can type Paul Graham. Okay, so paulgraham.com. You can see his ranking. So this site ranks 29,000. Okay, this site ranks 29,000. Wow, that's pretty high. Wait, so I'm not sure. My website will beat it now. So let's see, xali.info. Oh shit, now I'm 121. Wait, paulgraham.com. What? Yeah, let's open the new window. Yeah, fuck. Make sure this is Paul Graham. Are we correct? Because okay, that is the site. This site ranking 29,000. Wow, so he's actually going up. Because for many years, even my website is more popular than Paul Graham. Shit. Okay. This is past 3 months. Okay. So I think that's it for today. So what else? So Mono Man says, I wanted to ask about how you taught yourself to write articles the way you do. I want to start writing too, but find it difficult. How to articulate your ideas well, So my answer would be passion. Okay. So how did I begin? So, for example, I wasn't born in USA, so I wasn't a native speaker. Wordy English, okay? So wordy English. So you can see my blog. You can see my kind of blog about, now I moved my domain. So you go to xali.info. Now it's all on xali.info. Back to wordy English. Back to xali.org. xali.org. Then you go to wordy English. Here is my blog about my diary about all things related to writing, to literature, to linguistics. Okay, so let me just focus on the topic. So I learned English starting when I was 16. Okay, in Montreal, in Canada. Okay, so then I'm obsessed. I really want to master the language well. And the way I began is because, for example, I have articles about how to increase your vocabulary. I bought this thing, $300 back then. So this is 1988. I bought this electronic dictionary, 1988. Now remember the back then. So this is like $300 or $500, fairly expensive. Of course, so it's just a dictionary, okay? But today's phone is like 100 times more powerful than whatever that is. But I bought this because I look up words like literally more than 100 times every day, every single day for like over 10, for more than 10 years. That's my obsession, right? My habit. Because the way I thought I'm going to learn English is by just knowing all the words. I'm like a nerd. I'm a naive. Okay, it's pretty naive. Because this way of learning English is very inefficient. But I was just naive, and I was like brute force. I'm gonna brute force the fuck it. I'm gonna be the master of English, but no, I would know English better than all the English professors. And how am I going to do that? Just read, look up words every day. That was my obsession. Okay, so I started to, I bought this dictionary. Then this is my original dictionary, English to Chinese. So so in the beginning I don't know English, right? So English, I look at the Chinese definition to learn it. Then eventually I switched to all English dictionary. So so why am I doing this? It's a passion, okay? I just want to. I just want to. I think I can. That's a passion. So even okay, so that's one part of the story. Okay, then I have, I'm obsessed about dictionaries. So back then, for more than 10 years, for 20 years, not so much today. I'm getting old. I'm about to die soon. You won't see me doing YouTube much anymore. But for 20 years, in my 20s to 30s, I look up dictionary like literally more than 100 times a day. I can, this thick dictionary. Let's open that, okay? This thick dictionary, that's about this thick. This is the biggest English Chinese dictionary at the time. Okay, there's no bigger. I wanted the biggest one so that every word I can find the definition. So I had my father bought this in Taiwan. I think it's brought from Taiwan. So send me, I got this dictionary, this thick. I looked at them so much to the point that given any word, I can open it one shot and arrive at the correct page. Just because you do it so much, you just open it one shot, that's the correct page, okay? So that was my obsession on vocabulary, by the way, which is a very inefficient way to learn English. So perhaps you can still see part of that trait in my writing. So it's not okay. So when it comes to writing, there are many things to this. Okay, so I just described kind of my history of learning English. Focusing on vocabulary. But then I also got interested in writing English. Why? Because back then in the 1990s, I was very into mathematics. So I go to online forum, I talked about yesterday, CompuServe. So there's a forum, just like, analogous to today's Discord. You go there, you have, back then I go there, ask math questions, debate, argue, also lots of argument, because math, just like any subject, you can, like what's the best way to learn calculus? What's your favorite calculus book? Some people post opinions. Then I would say, oh, I read that, but I don't like that one because blah blah blah. So back then, 1990s, my English was not so good, but I wanted to, I got into talking with people. I want to tell them what I think or learn from them. So there's a lot of argument, which is still going on today. Like among us, we argue about things over, especially politics. I just type a lot. A lot. You go, you wake up, you dial up to the CompuServe, then you see what people say. Did they reply to my opinion there? You want to know. So also you make friends. So I started to do that, just typing, learning math and typing, and that turns out to be very significant in improving your English writing skills. Very significant. Like today we have Nimshiku, okay? We have this China room, and here is all politics, usually very, we argue a lot, okay? I have two enemies here whose opinion I disagree, okay? But so we argue a lot. But Ninshiku, from what I know, he doesn't, I don't think his writing skill is that great, okay? He usually does not You want to be able to express precisely what it is that you want to say. And when you do a lot writing, it also hones your thinking abilities, your logic, your analysis abilities. So it's connected, okay? Writing and analysis, logic, kind of abilities. And so writing, thinking, and knowledge, okay? Knowledge is also a fundamental part of it. Because if you don't know things, you don't have content, if you don't have opinion, like today's millennial gen, okay? Today's fucking millennial generations, they don't have opinion. They don't know nothing. They don't have opinion. They just blah, meme. They just know about memes. Put it meme, cock. Fuck. The millennial gen, that's and the Zoomers today, that's what they do all over Reddit, on Hackernews. At best, they might write one paragraph of something, because in Twitter, because they grew up that way. Twitter enforce character limits. Oh Jesus, you cannot even type more than 250 characters. Twitter. So these people grew up that way. They lost the ability to write, think, or even form opinions. They don't have none. So in order to write, I would claim, okay, so I would claim, in order you want to learn to write well, there are kind of three related things. First of all, you need to have a desire, a passion, okay? Do you really want to? Yes, I think so. You do. So desire, that's a passion. That's the most important passion. Not just writing or study math or programming or anything, or being a great lawyer, being a great, doctor, or doing good in school, or whatever is your life goal. If you don't have a life goal, that's fine too. You can, as long as you have money, that's fine. But anyway, passion is the most important thing. Okay, passion. Then you need to exercise. You need to practice. Okay. So okay, let me write kind of a summary. So we have a coherent kind of thing. How to learn writing, or writing well. Okay. History of how I learned English, okay? That's my personal history, focusing on studying, reading dictionaries. How to learn writing well, okay? Then foremost, desire, passion, okay? Then practice. Once you have a passion, you tend to do it all the time. Like in our forum, we have people into guitar or bass. The Russian guy Link. He plays so much, he grew calluses, hurts his hands. But he still wants to do it. You wake up tomorrow, you still want to do it. There's a strong desire. You just want to. You love it. Okay, passion and practice. They usually go hand in hand. Once you love something, you're gonna keep doing it. Then you will improve. Okay. Then the three elements. Three elements about writing well: thinking, analysis abilities, content, knowledge, opinions. Okay. If you don't have opinion on something, there's nothing you're gonna write. Okay. You gotta have opinion. Where do you get opinion? You get the opinion from experience, knowledge, learning. Okay. For example, programming. We like to debate, a lot of us, which programming is best. Some people say Rust. I say Wolfram language. Then our hot dog, Xa is an idiot. He thinks Wolfram language is gonna write Linux by itself. So we have opinions. Where's the opinion? Because I'm passionate about programming. I've done a lot. I've read a lot. That's what I say. And he's got opinions about, he also done a lot. So opinions, you gotta have them from knowledge and learning. That's the content of your writing. Okay, without opinion, you don't have content. Doesn't matter how well, how many words how many all Shakespeare words. Does nothing. You don't have content. You gotta have opinion. Then okay, so then the third most important is the actual writing skill. So this part involves you have to know vocabulary, you have to know the nuances of the words, you have to know the grammar, you have to know the grammar well, you have to know idioms, for example, vocabulary, grammar, idioms, writing style. Then you get into writing style, because even great writers, they have different styles of expressing the same thing. Some is like more fluid, some is more logical, some is concise, or some is so simple, and some is just a joy to read. And while some is like more scholarly, very difficult to read, but they use the word correctly, so there's so dense content, many different styles. They are, and for example, programming documentation, that belongs to technical writing. That's a particular style. So here I say that's kind of what we talked about, how to write well. Okay, I think that's it today. We talked for over an hour now. Okay, thank you guys. Now, pay me, okay? If you like my stuff, donate, okay? PayPal, Patreon, Amazon gift card, or you can buy, my tutorials on Emacs, on Emacs Lisp, on JavaScript. I have, just go to my website, xali.org. You'll find lots of my Patreon and so on links. Okay, that's it. I think that's it for today. So 1 hour, it's good. So I'm gonna shut down. Any further questions? Yeah, so your question, I wanted to ask you about how do you teach yourself, to write articles. I want to start writing too, but find it difficult. So how do you articulate your idea well? Yeah, so there's, on that specific question, how do you articulate your idea well? So that part will be practice, and no grammar, no vocabulary, and that helps. And how do you know vocabulary? How do you learn grammar? Well, you can of course read the grammar, basic English grammar or style guides. There are a lot of them, but mostly you get them from reading. So you read novels, you read works written by great English writers or novelists. In the past, classic novels. You pick up, then you can pick up their style, how they express things. So that is how to improve your articulation, and most importantly, practice. You just need to write. Okay, you can, yeah. Okay, that's it. So I'm just gonna copy some of my things I talked about and paste it on XAS Talk Show page, so we can reference to it later for other people. So vocabulary, okay, so very interesting English vocabulary. So we talked about Paul Graham, the classic nerd. And this is surprising. His website is becoming very popular now. Shit, I'm very competitive. Now his website is more popular than me. I want to know why though. because I don't imagine that his website thank you. Welcome. You're welcome. It's funny. When I was in school in Taiwan, I'm the worst writer. I mean, not like in school when you are in high school. Okay, in Chinese. I mean, in Taiwan. Okay, they also have classes. Course in Chinese, just like writing in USA. So you every week you got a homework. You're supposed to write an essay. Okay, I don't know how to. I have no like that is the biggest problem. Like my score in high school, I was kicked out kind of because in Taiwan, each class in high school we have like about 50 people, and every month or every week, every time there's an exam, we rank the scores of all students, and I'm always in the last 5. Okay, that's how bad I was in school. Things change. Yeah. I mean, that's why you don't have to like stick to school. A grade. If you graduate from Harvard, fuck Harvard. That especially today, they don't know things. They don't know nothing. Meanwhile, you have dropouts like Bill Gates, Steve Jobs. They are college dropouts, but they know much than all you fucking business, MBA, whatever, PhD or whatever. So you don't have to, like follow the establishment, the formal education or whatever. So anyway, when I was in high school, I was always the last 5. My score is always last 5, and to the degree so that I didn't graduate because I failed in everything. I failed in. I think I passed in math. Everything else I failed. So that was middle school. I didn't. They cannot give me a graduation certificate, so they gave me a kind of like you attended this middle school certificate instead. So when I was that age, when there's a homework essay, I don't know what to write. What do I write there? Like today's topic, or even diary. I can write a diary. Today is Saturday. Okay, today is 2021, November 23rd, and the weather is nice. The weather is very, very nice. You want to add more words. So the weather is very nice, and the weather is very nice. And then I don't know what to say anymore. Yeah, it's very interesting. So we talked about image tag. So that's it today. We closing down. Image map. Okay, and here close that. Paul Graham's website. Close that. Yeah, Paul Graham's website. Funny. Paul Graham's web style 1999. Yeah, I already did that. Okay. History of JavaScript tag. MIME type. ECMAScript. History of JavaScript. About math, I kind of talked about that before, but I don't have a set schedule, but do come in. If you see my video, do come in early and say that, because that will be better. I can talk about that topic in the beginning. Follow on Discord. I usually announce it 2 or 3 hours before. Bye, guys.